Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off, because today I'll be unboxing and taking a first look at Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances from the Op Games. And I'll dive on in right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, today I am going to unbox and take a first look at Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances from the Op Games. I'm also going to take a first look at the initial expansion for the game, which is entitled Turning the Tide. The game is designed by Sean Fletcher and is for 2 or 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 35 minutes or so, and does carry an MSRP of $49.99 for the core set. The Turning the Tide expansion, according to the Op, carries an MSRP of $29.99, but I have seen some retailers indicating an MSRP of $24.99. So you may want to take a peek to see which one of those is correct. I believe these are both available in stores right now, although the official release date was supposed to be about 2 weeks from now. But I think these did release a little bit early. That said, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got the core game for Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances. So a couple of things real quick before we dive on in. First of all, the fine folks over at the Op were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. And these days, it's important that you know that. All right, let's take a look at the back of the box. Of course, this is based on the mobile game, which is Disney's Sorcerer's Arena. I'll be the first to admit, I have not played it. I have not played it at all. I have seen that there are like tons and tons of characters for you to collect to build your stable of heroes and villains, though, and that you kind of level them up. Looks kind of interesting, but I don't happen to play many app games anyway. So the back of the box is going to tell us the ultimate Disney and Pixar battle royale. Become the next master summoner in this epic turn-based combat game where every choice you make determines your legacy. Create a fantastical battle-ready roster of Disney and Pixar hero and villain characters to enter the action-packed Sorcerer's Arena. Strategize and create exciting combinations of actions using special character abilities for endless replayability, and prove your team has what it takes to claim victory. Let's get the shrink wrap off here. One of the things I noticed is the box looks like we've got it kind of in an insert here. So this slides off. I thought that was kind of interesting, right? And then we have the box here. It's like it's locked, right? Okay, so let's jump on in. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to checking this out. My interest is kind of piqued as well, because it doesn't have miniatures, but it has standees that look pretty nice, plastic standees. So we've got our Summoner's Handbook. So we've got our rules. Let's take a peek at these first. And have to admit, feels like there's a bit of heft to this rule book. So there actually looks like 24 pages of rules, or maybe a little more than that, which I was expecting, probably 12 pages of rules. So that's cool. I am excited to see just how much strategy is actually built into this game. I understand that each of the characters are going to have their own deck of cards with their abilities and I think, special combos that you can utilize. So it appears there's a bit of a kind of shuffle building aspect to this game, because you're going to take your decks for your heroes or villains or a combination of both. And I believe you're going to actually shuffle them together. So the objective is to have the most victory points when the game ends. Simple enough. So we've got a bit of a chapter 1 setup. Another aspect of the rules, I believe, is that we are going to see they're basically explained in a modular fashion. So we're going to get the basics, then we're going to get some additional rules and some additional rules and some additional rules, so that you're not going to be overwhelmed with everything at one time. So we do have the summoner's pieces. So there is a bit of a dial for these standees that I didn't realize. So I guess you're going to track their damage, how many hit points they have available to them. So it looks like we have main phases of movement and action. So in the movement phase, you can use the standard movement or play a movement card. In the action phase, you can use a standard attack or play an action card. So completing the card effects. Oh, okay. So it looks like we've got little status indicators that you're going to kind of build onto your character. Well, that's kind of cool. So here we go, chapter 2. So here we have some new additional rules about drafting characters, setting up your order tiles. So I'm taking a guess you're going to determine what order your characters are going to act in. So a few pages of that. Then we have chapter 3, which is going to introduce us to ability cards and some changes, looks like, to the hand sizes, as well as standard movement and attack values. And it looks like we have skills now. I would take a guess maybe that is on the actual character card, character board possibly. So now we have collecting gears in chapter 4 and discussion of upgrading your characters. I have to say, my best friend Elliot Miller, who is returning to the gaming gang, this looks like this is something completely up his alley, because he is a huge Disney fan. He really is. So we've got team play, and then some special rules for team play. And it looks like we've got some status effects here. So we have cursed, flustered, immobilized, magic broom. I'm going to guess that's going to be Mickey related. Shrunken, stealthy, strong, taunt, and tough. So it discusses what each of those effects happen to be. So there are the rules. Looks like everything is pretty well presented. We've got some examples as well. I notice it looks like we've got some of the more important aspects of the rules are highlighted. So that's nicely put together. All right, so we've got the rules there. Let's see, we've got some punch boards, and we have a game board as well. So here we have those status effects. So we have a few of each. So we have a few flustered, immobilized, magic broom, tough, strong. And then it looks like these are our various different characters that we have available in the core set. And it looked like these are what we utilize. These conditions, you'll notice they kind of, here, I'll just punch one out. Notice how we have an hourglass shape, and then you can put the various different conditions alongside. It's kind of cool how they've made that to fit together there. Looks like we have how many hits each of the characters are going to have. And I'm going to take a guess. Maybe that's like their attack power, possibly. So there is that. And then we have a board, which I think is just hexes. Yep, for the most part. Although it looks as if we've got some gold hexes here. And I'm taking a guess, probably scoring victory points by controlling these hexes as well. So, and nice thick cardstock on these right there, as well as with the punch boards, as you can see, pretty nice and thick. So these should hold up to repeated play. Got a nice insert. So we've got a plastic insert here. We've got our dials. Looks like we've got all our characters in here. And we have some different colored rings. So I would take a guess when you're putting these together, depending on which player or which team the characters are on, you're going to use these different colored rings. So I'm going to take a guess. You're probably swapping these rings out quite a bit, depending on who's drafting what characters. We'll take a look at these last. So here we've got, there we go. Here we have our character cards. And then we've got our deck of cards for each of the characters. So let's look at the character cards. Let me grab the good old hobby knife here. All right, we'll get a little closer look at these. So we've got Gaston. No. Got Aladdin. Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey. Sully. That's it. I'm just going to take Mickey and Sully and take on all comers. That's it. Dr. Felselier. Ariel. Maleficent. And Demona. And then it looks like we've got, reference cards for each of the chapters of the rules. And it looks as if we get a copy for either 2 players or for each team, as far as 2 teams. Well, that's nice. And fairly decent card stock. All right, so we've got those. Let's take a look at the actual, it's not even, shrink wrap's not all the way around it. So, let's see if I can slip this through and kind of cut that open. There we go. Now it'll open up easy. Okay, so they all have the same backing. These cards are quite a bit thicker than these character cards and these reference cards. So we're not going to look at each and every card, but I do want to give you kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. So as an example, it looks as if $10 cards for each character. So Gaston's got a couple of, well, it looks like 3 brawler cards, a fury card, a couple of shoves, a sheer bravado, a shrug it off, a couple shrug it offs, and let's dance. So I guess I'll bet you that's a movement card. Yep, it is a movement card. So we have Aladdin with his cards. And it indicates here, it looks like that's an attack card. And that is a, well, I guess maybe it's a movement or attack or action, maybe. Here we've got movement. Yep, because it says move up to 2 spaces. And Aladdin gains 2 stealthy. There we have some Sully cards. Top Scarer. Artwork's kind of cool. Here's Ariel. Got some Ariel cards here. There's Maleficent. And then Demona. As I mentioned previously, this is based on a mobile game. Oh, here we'll be able to put our decks in here. So that's nice. And sort them out by character. Anyway, as I was saying, that this is based on a mobile game, and like I said, there are loads and loads of characters. So you're gonna, no doubt, if this does well, you're gonna see loads. And why am I putting that back in? We're gonna take a look at the actual characters. Anyway, I was gonna say you could possibly see loads and loads of characters for this as well. All right. So of course these are just plastic dial covers. That's what this looks like here. And then we have, it looks like these discs are color coded with little symbols. So I'm taking a guess that they each represent a particular character. Yeah, because we have different values on them. Nice thick plastic. As you can see here, we have Sully. And it's kind of cool. Each of these dials has sort of a little kind of like a base, but they're all different. Right? So here we have, this is like stone. This is like, looks like waves, sort of. A wooden floor. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark that we probably have to take a look at the character cards to learn who goes on what. And these are dual-sided. So looks like this might be the upgraded Gaston, and then this is the standard Gaston. All right, maybe I'm blind, but I'm not seeing where. Okay, so well, we know he's got 10 health. So some of these don't go to 10. This goes to 10, and it's a wooden floor. I would take a wild stab that this would be Gaston. Okay, so then it's going to pop in there. And then here's you're going to put this ring on top. And you're going to use that ring to indicate how many hits they have left. See how we've got the little arrow right there? And as we can see, we've got a front and a back. So we may have some facing rules in this as well. So that's Gaston. Here is Aladdin. Get a nice look at Aladdin there. Artwork's nice on it. I get a kick out of how it's got a front and a back. I wasn't expecting that. There's Demona. Ariel. Once again, as I mentioned, there are 8 of these characters in the core rule, I should say core set. And there we have Mickey. Nice. Very cool. So we've got the 8 characters. We've got their discs. We have the rings that go on top of the discs, which we're going to use to track their, what appears to be their hits, the amount of damage that they can take. Put all this stuff back in, because then we're going to take a look at the expansion, Turning the Tide. So here we've got the character cards. I'll pop these right there. We've got the little battlefield board, the punch boards, and that's what we find in the core set for Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances, and then put it into here. There we go. I don't see this holding up too much, putting this box back and forth in it. So I'd assume most people are just going to store the game like so without this on it. All right, let's take a look here. We've got Turning the Tide. And it looks like we have Moana, Davy Jones, and Stitch. Although Davy Jones doesn't look like he did when he sang with the monkeys. So I don't know what that deal is. Zoinks! Okay. Let's take a peek here. So we'll have some more cards. Got some punch boards as well. So we have no punch backs. So that's a new effect. And then we have some whirlpool. Looks like these are whirlpool hexes. So we might have some new rules involved with this. So we have Stitch. I kind of get a kick out of it. Tells you, all right, so where's this character from? Lilo and Stitch. Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean. And of course, Moana from the self-titled movie. All right, so we've got those. We've got a small deck of cards. See, what I would have liked to have seen with the core set is, with that insert, have had room for more decks. Now, I didn't count to see how many slots it had, but it looked like it was 8 to go with the 8 characters that are in it. So we've got the Davy Jones cards, the Black Spot, Moana's cards, and we got Stitch's cards. We also have their discs as well as their standees. You notice there are no new rings in this. So you're just going to utilize the other rings from the core set. So here we have Davy Jones. Stitch, and Moana. There we go. Sweet. I know there's another expansion that's been announced. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you what characters are in it, though. I apologize. I completely forgot which Disney Pixar characters are part of that. So with the Turning the Tide, we have kind of water-based characters here, or sea-based characters. And it looks like we've got, is this a new rule? Okay, so we have constant abilities, some new arena tiles. These are ocean tiles. It talks about the new status effect, no punchbacks, and also our components as well. Excellent. All right. So that is the Turning the Tide expansion. All right, come on. for Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances. I believe I am going to probably have Elliot review Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances as long as he has available time to take care of it. Otherwise, I will be sharing my review of the game in the very near future. Once again, the core rule set, the core set for Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances carries an MSRP of $49.99, and turning the tide is either $29.99 or $24.99. There's conflicting MSRP information out there. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, The Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for loads of tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. All right, thank you very, very much for taking some time out to check out this video. And of course, here's hoping each and every one of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.